Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, I get lots of books, hundreds, I think, every year, which is nice, most of which get on a huge pile that, not much happens with them. But I received one recently called Small Move, Big Change, and it moved right next to my easy chair because I haven't got to it yet, but that means it will be gotten to. And it's by Caroline Arnold, and I've been looking forward to talking to the author about it. It's a very smart-looking book with some interesting concepts. And I think one of the big problems, I know in my own self-development, is that we're often looking for big, major, paradigm shifts to happen in our thought processes, or we're looking at huge behavior changes we have to do. And the reality is, the best stuff happens as a culmination of a lot of little things. And I think that's the gist of your book. And welcome to the program, Caroline.
Oh, Kevin, thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, is that really the gist of where you're getting at here? It isn't necessarily a lot of major changes that are massive inconvenience that are hard to do. It's really a lot of massaging various aspects of our lives to move them in the direction we want to go.
That's correct. And actually, though, small changes can turn out to be huge, certainly much bigger than an ambitious resolution you make every year that fails at the new year. That's 92% of us. But if you can, shift your behavior, methodically, in every area just a bit at a time, you can get tremendous results and faster than you might imagine.
Yeah. Give us an example.
Okay, so diet, I think, is one of the things that tops the New Year's resolution list, and people often go on crash diets, etc., that last for a few weeks, and then they're done for the year. But if you were to make a behavioral change, such as not to eat after 9 p.m. at night, you would probably eliminate, for most of us, 150, 200 calories, which actually adds up to 15 or 20 pounds over 3 years. It could be as simple as saying, the new weight loss models show that for every 100 calories you can repeatedly reduce your diet by per day, you will lose 10 pounds over 3 years, 5 pounds in the first year. So these behavioral changes at the margin can have, a huge impact, and more science is lining up with this. It turns out that running 5 minutes a day is as beneficial as running 150 minutes a week. But the key is to shift your behavior daily and keep shifting it until you've made the progress you want to make. And it's a lot of fun. It's not drudgery when you do it that way.
Yeah, this year at the beginning of January, I started walking vigorously an hour every day. And I tell you, it's incredible what kind of impact that alone is going to have. I've lost over 30 pounds. I've maintained it. It's a commitment to doing that 1 hour every single day that it's been very transformative. And I tell you something that's interesting about that hour is that I know how many calories I burn doing that. I sit there and look at that data afterwards, and it's like, and it's not huge, but it's adds up. You just pointed out how that adds up.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, it makes me think differently about food. Wait a minute. That's X amount of time walking to compensate for that amount of calories. It's interesting what it does. And that's where I think the maintenance of that, 30 pounds less has come through.
Yeah, that's a great example. Actually, for myself, my first fitness micro resolution, which is what I call these, was to walk to work about 35 minutes just on Mondays. But once I got that established, I found I really wanted to walk every day. But even if you just walk one day, which is completely achievable, then you're going to arrive that day at work with, a clearer head, you'll have burnt some calories, your metabolism will be high, and studies show that you're more creative all day after just 8 minutes of walking. So even if you get off the bus 2 stops early and take that walk, that's what I do on the way home, You're going to do yourself a lot of benefit. The truth is, willpower is a limited mental resource. People think it's a character trait, and when they fail, they say, gee, I was so weak, I didn't have enough willpower. But it's really a limited mental resource, and when it's exhausted, it's gone. So the real way to make progress is to fix your willpower on a couple of behavioral shifts at a time, work those for 4 or 5 weeks until they become habit, or part of your autopilot, and then move on to 2 others. And not to get impatient, because that's how people blow it. They want to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. They can't keep up the pace. They blow it, and they end up gaining 2 pounds.
Caroline, I got to let you go. I'm sad to say. Caroline Arnold, I want to encourage the listener to learn more about it. This book is on my table there right next to my easy chair. That means I will read it. I always get to those, and I'm going to get you back on as soon as I'm finished, and then we're going to talk a little longer next time.
Okay, Kevin, thanks so much for having me on the show, and Happy New Year to you and your listeners.
You bet. CarolineArnold.com, and make sure you check that out. I'm Kevin Price. More for you right after this on The Price of Business.